when the forbearance ended July 31st, people didn't believe it would happen, but it did. And so in the very first month of August, foreclosure starts increased 27% in just the month of August alone. Okay, and so that's a really crazy number because the banks are hitting the ground running. Got a 22% increase in foreclosures from last year. So foreclosure start is different for every state, right? Judicial states, it takes longer. Non-judicial states, it's much quicker. But even in just 1 month, foreclosures increased 22% from August of 2020. That's a phenomenal number there, even in that, right? So as I posted in an earlier article about the CFPB and that webinar that I snuck into, where they said tier 1 is the vacant homes immediate foreclosure. Tier 2 are the homes that were in 120-day delinquent status on March of 2020, at the very beginning, who are already supposed to have been foreclosed. That's tier 1, tier 2 for immediate foreclosure. And so they're already executing on those. If you're targeting certain lists, you might want to go for vacant homes because that's the ones that is in tier 1. If you go back to one of the previous, about 3 months ago, I did a thing on how to use list source. So in the coaching call, I actually did a 20-minute section on how to use list source. Modify your data up to get vacant homes. That would be a target you would want because they are in tier 1. Now, if you want to look in here, you can see Ohio, so here's some of the states with the highest foreclosure rates. Illinois, so Edwina and Raj, okay, New Jersey, so Brittany's on here. Those are the 2 highest states for metropolitan area. On here, we've got Cleveland, Ohio, Atlantic City, believe it or not, California. Down here, Chicago, Illinois. I don't know if any of our people go up that far. The other thing here is, they're talking about foreclosure starts, okay. We had normal foreclosure in the past, okay. We had 28,000, 3 times more, than this year. So let me rephrase that for you, okay. There were 8,000 foreclosure starts in August of right now. The normal in August of 2019 would be 28,000. So we're not anywhere near getting anywhere close back to even normal foreclosures. But what we're just simply talking about is a percent increase. A percent increase that was 0 for 18 months. There was no increase in foreclosures at all. And more people were coming into forbearance than anything else. But here, the percentages, I think, are going to go even higher, when the September data comes out. I want to show this here just for all the real estate investors. Keith on here is pretty, active and stuff. This is talking about rental rates, okay? So this is a neat little article. I want you to look at rental rates here. Do you guys see this? February 2020. Do you see what happened with the increase in rental rates? You can charge an increase. I don't know if Lois is on here. She just rented her place, but do you see this? We went from $1,400 to $1,640, $240 increase. Okay.
It's accelerating like crazy.
Yeah, and it's still shooting up. Okay, now if you come down here, you can see your city. Okay, so down here, here's your 50 largest metropolitan areas. Now I'm going to disappoint all my St. Louis fans, okay? Because while everyone else went up 11%, we only went up 7.8. Okay. Tampa, whoa, Samuel, look at that. Your rentals, you need to kick everybody out of your rental because you can raise your rate 35.2%. And those rentals you work so hard to get up. Okay, so look at that, Samuel. And so this is talking about the zombie foreclosures. And so some of these areas are, let's see here, largest count. Yeah, so Florida and Illinois are the 2 largest states for zombie properties that basically are in foreclosure. Zombie means that nobody can find the owner or nobody's doing anything with it. So this is a neat little article here talking about, kind of combines a couple articles together, and it's talking about, the forbearance and what's happening with the data on it. And so basically Black Knight is a data source I quote all the time, as you guys know, and they're talking about the number of ramp ups, 670,000 people in September. Okay, you know, that are going to be kicked off, and I'll show you some more detail on it. And so here, you know, this is historically back in, you know, March of 2020, and we have come down quite a bit, but we still have 2.5 million people, okay, that are in forbearance. It's a huge number, okay. And so here, this is another type of data. You know, this is talking about the Ginnie Mae, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, breaks it out by loan type. Okay, now this is a good thing here. Okay, so with all these people in forbearance, who is getting a partial claim? Who's refinancing their loans? And you'll see in here that right now only 1.4% down here, 1.4% are actually currently doing short sales. That's because there's not enough of you people out there doing short sales. You know, we had 11% that resulted in a loan modification or trial. 90% of the time, these trials, they end up going to foreclosure or short sale because they try it and they can't. You know, there were 13% that were able to, that were reinstatements, okay, that they actually paid the past due amount back. So that's, you know, a very small number. So you're supposed to pay everything back, right? That's the whole idea. You're in forbearance and you owe all the money. Well, only 13% could pay it back. You know, real quickly here, you know, this is the FHA foreclosure. So as you know, there's 3 times as many in forbearance, you know, as there is, you know, with Fannie Mae. So see the 5.4 to 1.7. So you want to target the FHA loans. This down here is interesting. If you go way back, I posted an article about this calculation. What is the loan amount that is equal to a $900 payment? And I think it's a $190,000 loan. You'd have to go check the Facebook group, but I posted that. Moving on over here, this is the actual source article that was talking about that, you know, percentage that are coming out of foreclosure and where they're going to. Moving on here, this is, you know, Black Knight. So basically, we're at 1.6 million people that are, you know, seriously delinquent. What's interesting here is there's still a lot of people that are moving from the 30 and 60, 90 day to 90 day. In other words, we still have a supply of people that are coming into being seriously delinquent. But, you know, it has been decreasing. But notice here, 12% of one out of every 10 FHA loans in America, okay, are in, you know, forbearance foreclosure. 1 out of 10. That's a, you know, phenomenal number there. This here, real quickly, is the July report. This is a PDF file, and there is so much good information in here. It's crazy. But I'll try and just run through and show you some of the pertinent pages on here. So, so here is your 30, 60, and 90 day delinquent. Okay, so you see these percentage down here. You've got, you know, we've got almost 1 million additional people that are in the 30 and 60 day that will eventually probably become the seriously delinquent, like the blue line right here. So you got an aqua and a green, and then you've got the you know, rest of the people here that are already what we're talking about with the 1.7 million people, you know, that are in seriously delinquent. Couple of graphs. Here's the other one I wanted to show you. So it's hard for you to read this, but this is August of 2021 right here. This is September, you know, so, you know, this is like smoking hot. Look at that, 700,000 mortgages will not be protected in this 18-month forbearance that they've been in. And so the banks have to start foreclosing on them, okay, or do some other process of modification, of which most of them aren't going to qualify. So 200,000 in August, okay, and so we foreclosed on, or we had a 27% increase. We have another 700,000 coming up in September, October, November, and December. So this quantity is like 20,000 a day. Moving on, just real quickly, These are loans in active foreclosure, post forbearance. Okay, so here these are pre-COVID delinquencies, 30,000. So here's what's happened, guys. They basically are just doing the tier 1, tier 2. They haven't even got to, look at this, 5,000 people have been foreclosed on or in an active foreclosure out of the post-COVID delinquencies, which is, all those millions of people. So we haven't even started actually touching those. We're still working through and just starting out with the vacant homes and the people who were 120 days late, before the pandemic struck. So this is an update. You're going to find an article that I posted back in February that showed the people that are underwater on it. And so this actually has improved quite a bit, which hurts our case. You have to convince the seller that they need to do a short sale. And if they think their house is worth $1 million, it's hard to do. So when they're clearly underwater, okay, then it's easier, to convince them. So we have 13% of FHA loans that are underwater. In other words, a lot of, talking heads on the television and news reports say, well, home prices have gone up and we're not going to have any issues with foreclosures and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that we're in a bubble crashing. Don't get me wrong. There's other data that's not related to short sales that I do with my regular coaching students, where we're looking at the non-short sale data and looking at mortgage rates, interest rates, affordability, days on market, and there is no crashing bubble. Okay, and so but that's fine. We don't want a crashing bubble. We just want this segment of society that's 13% of FHA loans that are underwater, that can't sell their home, and we buy that home from them and we sell it to this market going up. This is the best of both worlds. I did this in 2009 and 10, 11, and 12 in a crashing market, making hundreds of thousands of dollars, on houses. Now I can buy it low, and by the time I get the rehab done, it's worth a lot more. So right now we have 13% of FHA loans that are underwater. So they can't go and sell their home. So they say that, well, this is not going to affect the market out there, the forbearance and the foreclosures. Well, a lot of people don't understand that only works in two situations. Okay, one is if the homeowner doesn't have a job, he can't refinance. So they keep saying, well, they'll just refinance their loan. You can't qualify if you have no job, right? Okay, that's one point that people forget. The second point is when you have 13% of the homes that are underwater, they can't put it on the market and sell it. Okay, so this is what you want to target. Now, I have a bigger definition of 10% equity. I think it's more like 15 or 20, because I think usually there's a lot more wrong with the house, than what And so that would probably raise this up to about 25% or 29%. Let's see here. Refinancing, just a lot of good stuff in here. This goes, I think we have a thing that goes by state here. Oh, no, this is historically, this is 2005. And these are the foreclosures that we had during the last great downturn in 2009. So like Jerry, and some of the others that kind of been looking at this for a while. So back in 2009, 10, 11, 12, and 14, we had, many, many people being foreclosed on. Down here, you see we're at 140,000. Okay, so we've got a long ways to go and stuff. And so, we've got a tremendous number of people, in the starting gates, to come back up and increase these numbers. I was perfectly happy here, when we had 100,000, a year previously. Oh no, here's the thing. So anybody want to go look up their state? Okay, move to Hawaii. They've got the third highest delinquency rate, and so this is and so we got Arkansas. So I don't know if Arnie's on here. This is why Arnie's knocking it out of the park. He's in one of the 10th largest states at 5.2% serious delinquency rate. So Arnie's been racking up the short sales left and right here with it. Okay, so that's it. Let's move on. Okay, let's see if I can